Hello, fabulous superstar Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boys, at a very special time, and it truly is so special now. Powerful energies are with us, and it is going to be this month that is jam-packed. Let me tell you, there are big celestial events taking place, big shifts of big planets, but also what you'd expect, a full moon and a new moon as well. So there's lots to talk about here. On the 4th of the month is when we have Jupiter going direct, and Jupiter will go direct in fellow air sign Gemini. This is a part of the sky for you that has to do with your place in the world. Long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, as well as you feeling like you're able to step up on a larger stage than you've known before. Be in front of more of the world than you've known before, a spirit of optimism and adventure. And this part of the sky more personally has to do with the beliefs that help you to make sense of the world and guide your life. Jupiter moving forward means if you've been involved in one of these areas I just mentioned, and it has felt like matters have stagnated in some way, this is where you start to see it differently. This is where it is illuminated for you so that from there you're able to understand and also own some power. Feel like you're moving towards resolution if that is needed. And in some cases, it can feel like a very fortunate resolution takes place very quickly at this time. But for all that, this can also represent a time when you are feeling like you want to engage these types of institutions more. Maybe you're thinking about going back to school for a more advanced degree. Maybe it is that you've been thinking about getting more politically active, more active in things like shaping policy or other legalities. Well, it might feel like these matters are calling you forward in some way now. And it looks like positive energy is released as a result of your engagement. It's also about being honest about where that positive energy is for you. So if you've been thinking about engaging a legal matter, this is where you're able to see whether or not it's worth it, what the steps are, and if you even want to start the process. You're able to see it a lot more clearly, as well as the outcomes, and you're able to attract the right support to help you along in those realizations. It is on the 7th of the month that we have a rare connection of the North Node and Neptune. These two planets get together about once every 17 years. And when they get together, it is as if a doorway opens, that's the North Node, from which new people, places, things, and situations can enter to pull us forward towards greater blessings. For you, this meeting is taking place in a part of the sky that has to do with your daily life. For some, this is going to speak to your work life. New clients, customers, coworkers, or immediate supervisors might enter. Here's the thing though, with Neptune, there's a lot of dreamy energy. These types of new people entering becomes much more likely if it is that you are involved in any type of profession or job that has to do with arts or institutions around arts, or healing or institutions around healing. These are the types of endeavors that might call you forward in some way now. But for all that, what we have here is powerful energies of new beginnings, new chapters even as well. Work that feels more spiritually rewarding might present itself to you along with different opportunities, or you realizing what it is you'd rather do in a very real sense and aligning your life with it. The only caution would be if someone presents themselves and they're promising a dream come true. You just want to be aware. You want to be a little bit cautious, but of course, do whatever it is that feels right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. Now, this part of the sky also has to do with your sense of well-being, your health, and how well you take care of you. The North Node meeting Neptune here is almost like a faith healing. It can feel downright miraculous how it is that you're able to leave behind certain health challenges in one way or another, or at least feel as if you found a solution that's meaningful to you, that helps you to move forward. On the 12th of the month, we do have this month's full moon, and this full moon takes place in a friendship part of your sky. This full moon, the key characteristics surrounding it are that it is speaking in a larger configuration of tension called a T-square with Uranus. That brings with it an especially frustrating or erratic factor. But what we also have here is a supremely harmonious connection with Chiron, and that brings with it real opportunity to move towards meaningful healing as well, and understanding what healthy choices might be for you. Full moons bring with them truth. Sometimes it's been a truth that's been there all along. It's been staring you in the face, but you haven't been ready to acknowledge it. And it's usually an emotional truth as that. And I think this has to do with your role within a group dynamic. It could be professional or personal, or how you feel about a particular person, a particular friendship in your life. But as some very erratic sense of what is true, how people actually are, how people actually behave is illuminated for you, well, it ends up being a game changer. Something's got to give, something's got to change in the context of what you are understanding, whom it is that is to be in your life. Social events in particular, I will say they are a ground where things can go in all kinds of directions. Things can feel especially erratic in one way or another. So pace yourself and be yourself. You know, I like to say that, but it is at this time that it can feel as if people are very quickly in moments showing you some truth about themselves. And that could be a game changer. And it helps you to understand what environments you want to be in, which you don't, and which people you want in your life, and which ones you don't. The 23rd of the month, that is when Mars goes direct. Here we are. I told you it's a huge month that is taking place. Mars going direct at the top of your sky brings with it a focus on career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. As you come to this realization, it's as if you understand where it is you're ready to put your best efforts, where it is you're ready to move forward in some key way. If you have felt like career matters have been stagnant, this is where you understand what you can do to empower yourself. There's enthusiasm, there's energy, and there's forward drive that could take place for you now. Consider that Saturn is speaking in supreme harmony with Mars as Mars shifts directions. And what that suggests is whatever progress you're making now, there's a sense of self-honesty that's so valuable here, but also a sense of moving in a direction that is steady, that brings with it possibilities and opportunities that last and have the potential to have meaningful effect on your career path going forward from here. The 27th of this month brings with it this month's new moon, and this new moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your daily life. So this could speak to the clients, customers, coworkers, immediate supervisors in your life, the actual work that you're doing. Outside of work, it has to do with your overall sense of well-being, how well you take care of yourself. New moons bring with them new people, new opportunities, brand new chapters, and new changes. This new moon will be speaking in a conversation of tension with Jupiter, and that brings with it over-optimism at this time. And it may be that you're looking at your health-related habits or your work-related habits and maybe doing too much, doing the most, doing so much that you just might tire yourself out very quickly. So it's an important thing to pace yourself at this time. It could be that one of these key people I just mentioned, they might be over-promising something. It might be very sincere, but it could be that they're not actually able to meet those promises that they could be making, and you to them. So it's important to be mindful of that as well. For all that, though, we do have this new moon speaking in harmony with Mars. And so there's this sense of whatever's happening in your day-to-day life is being benefited by the career progress that you're making now as well. There's a sense that as you feel that much more clear as to what your goals are and the higher motivations, you're able to translate that into practical changes you're making in a very real way as you move through your day on that daily level of your habits and rituals, including your health-related habits as well. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I have to say that is the very big news for the Librans out there. Once we get to Mars direct on the 23rd, we're going to have just a few days there where all major planets are direct, technically so. Although by the time we get to the end of this month, it is going to be Venus that is standing still in the sky, going retrograde at the beginning of next month. Now, having said that, Venus retrograde season is huge for you. Venus is your ruling planet. So in and of itself, it matters. In and of itself, it is your representative in the sky. And when Venus goes retrograde, it tends to be that much more an important moment for you. It isn't just about what's happening in your daily life, which is part of where this Venus retrograde season takes place. And it isn't just about what's happening with another person, a partnership, or in love, which is a part of where this Venus retrograde season takes place, but it's how you know yourself, how you understand yourself in the process that ends up playing a very key part. This isn't about compartmentalizing, but rather it's integrating, it's holistic. What it is you come to understand about you will end up being a game changer in these two areas of life. Venus officially went into shadow on the 28th of January, so just before we started this month. And where Venus is at the beginning of this month is where she is going to be in the middle of April. So I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way, of course. But whatever's happening now may in some way be seen differently once it is that we navigate to that place. And of course, there will be a Venus retrograde special horoscope, so be on the lookout for that as well. This Venus retrograde season, spending part of the time in that daily part of the sky means that it asks a couple of things. Whenever we have Venus retrograde season, the overall guiding question is there love here in this person, place, thing, or situation? Do I love it? If there's love, it's going to become that much more evident and strong. If there isn't, that starts to be more evident as well. And if the love that's there is worth it to you, it becomes clearer as well as a result of the experiences you attract. Now, breakups that happen with Venus retrograde, particularly in your opposite sign, tend to not stay broken up. That's something to be mindful of. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do exactly what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. Now, this particular Venus retrograde season, as Venus on the 4th moves into your opposite sign, it focuses more on partnership. But until then, it's very much about, do I love how I'm living? Who is part of maximizing love in terms of how I'm living? Workplace, flirtation, and romances become very possible, but that's the area that is most likely to be most messy as well. So pace yourself at this time and do what's right for you to do. Once Venus moves into your opposite sign on the 4th of this month, it is connections from the past, understanding past patterns, people from the past that might pop up in one way or another. But it's also possible here that there's a more profound, deeper understanding within yourself that's set to take place as to where you've been in love, how you feel about it, what you want different going forward from here, where there have been issues that have been swept under the rug. Venus retrograde season gives you an opportunity to look at that and see if positive healing can take place. As soon as Venus moves into your opposite sign, Venus will very quickly move to align in harmony with Pluto. And this is one of those saving grace energies. It's going to represent one of the key characteristics of the larger Venus retrograde season. And it is this connection with Pluto that brings with it that much more intensity, but a very profound excitement as well. For those of you open to meeting someone new, Venus retrograde season in your opposite sign is huge. Let me say it is a very big factor in you understanding love differently and also having options available to you in the context of love. You might connect with people that you feel there's real long-term potential there. But remember, connecting with people during the larger Venus retrograde season means that what you think it is and what it actually is could end up being very different. And so it's important to be mindful of that and pace yourself at this time as you come to an understanding of where you are in love and how you feel about it differently. But again, this is the first part of a more extended journey that's going to take you right into the middle of May. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. For those of you just starting to date someone, remarkable energies at play here. And it is in that context that, especially once it is that Venus changes signs, you are one of the signs that might find yourself in a partnership where you didn't expect it, where out of nowhere it feels like, oh, here I am. I'm in a relationship with this person. Here this person is. But also the likelihood of feeling as if the past pops up and is affecting what's happening today in terms of your openness or willingness to explore what could be possible with this person. While all of that tendency might feel especially strong now, whatever might be happening with this person or someone new, remember, you will see it differently in some way. And also where it is that maybe you're repeating some patterns, that might be illuminated in some way as well. And for those of you in an established bond, greater focus on your partner is likely to be part of the overriding energy. Where relationships have been good, this gives both of you a chance to know each other more deeply, to bond that much more deeply, to find a deeper sense of connection. But where it is that there's been any doubt as to whether or not you're with the right person for you, it is going to be this Venus retrograde season that's going to bring all of that to the surface. It is about exposing you to experiences to help you to understand what it is you might want to do next. Even if you don't necessarily know what that is just yet, at the very least, you're garnering experience that will play a key factor in understanding the next best steps for you and this relationship as well. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. Well, look, I'm going to say there's lots of big things happening here, but Venus entering shadow late last month and standing still by the time we get to the end of this month is huge. This is so significant for you now because Venus is your ruling planet. And this is going to speak very powerfully to you in the context of partnership, business partnerships, professional alliances, but more personal and romantic alliances as well. You are now at the very beginning of a journey as you start this month of understanding if there's love here or not. And that love could be familial love, it could be friendship, it could be trust that comes with business partnerships. But it is in exploring the question itself that you will come to a truth that is uniquely your own. That could just end up being a game changer, especially as we navigate forward in this year. Whatever's taking place now with another person, you just might see it differently once we move later on in the spring. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate over at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Now, higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. I also want to add that I do have a very limited number of consultations available. You can learn a lot more about getting a consultation with me or with Andy of Wise Ass Astrology. Yes, you can book a consultation with him as well over on my website. Just check out the consultation tab and links are below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.